left, for example, instead of turning right. So, for whatever reason, you're inclined to do that. You turn the other way. And then all of a sudden, bazinga, who do you run into? An old friend. Or what do you see? Oh, the perfect house for sale or for rent. Or a job posting and you were looking for a job. And you don't know what possessed you to turn that way on that day, but for whatever reason you did. And it created some synchronicity or created an opportunity for you, which if you were sticking to your same rigid, I always go 3 lights over and then I turn left and then at the stop sign I, do whatever, then that way quite often you can miss opportunities because once again, you're trying to keep control. That's part of what's wrong with what's going on in this world is we try to control everything, right? A lot of people talk about OCD. And isn't that interesting? Because that's what that is. And, I see certain people in my life who I absolutely love and adore, but they label their kids with it very early. And I'm not a fan of labels anyways, except for the label of mom or nana. Sister, I like that one too. But when you do that and you do that to your child, then they automatically accept it as fact. And they go with that flow. And then they feel like that's a part of them and they need to act that way. Do you see how that happens? Do you see how that turns into a self-fulfilling prophecy? Whether it's correct or not, all little kids have habits. They all have things that they do. It doesn't mean that they're going to do that forever. Never mind that you can label them, right? Just, food for thought. Just something that I'm seeing quite a bit of these days. And we're not going there. We can get really deep into some stuff, but it's not time for that because you know what time it is? It's time for the good news. Love the good news. So, great stuff going on with the animals. I love how we're seeing some things come full circle with them, whether it be that they're coming back from extinction or different laws are coming back into place to protect them, which is very cool. So on that note, after a bill was unanimously passed in the Senate earlier this week, California has become the first state to ban the commercial breeding of dogs, cats, and rabbits. The legislation, AB-485, is a direct blow against the use of puppy mills, facilities that breed animals in crowded, dirty, and inhumane conditions. Now, the bill will instead force pet stores and dealers to only allow the adoption and sale of animals from rescue organizations, animal shelters, and humane societies. All pet stores in the state of California will now have to maintain records sufficient to document the source of each dog, cat, or rabbit the pet store sells, and to post in a conspicuous, I don't think that's the word they really mean, location on the cage or enclosure of each animal, a sign listing the name of the entity from which each dog, cat, or rabbit was obtained. The source, from the source, that's what they're asking for. Any pet stores that could be found guilty of selling commercially bred animals can be fined up to $500 for each violation. Once the bill is signed by Governor Brown, it will come into full effect in January 2019. The California's legislature's passage of Assembly Bill 485 is a landmark victory and one that we have championed for decades, said Chris DeRose, Last Chance for Animals president and founder. We are elated that our home state is leading the way on this important issue. Requiring pet stores to sell only rescue and shelter animals is a bold venture, but one that will help rehome some of the 6 million unwanted animals that enter shelters each year. Isn't that something? Now, I gotta say something here. As much as I think this is absolutely wonderful, and I do, and you see states, communities, whatever, doing this, they're starting a trend. Now we have, Exhibit A, the case of California that did this, and we can use that to do it in other states, other countries, here in Canada. Hopefully it would flow over, but I have to add, I hope that we're putting as much effort into protecting the cows and the chickens and the pigs that people are eating. I'm trying as much as I can to exclude myself from that. I have no intention of ever being a vegan. I could borderline be a vegetarian, but I'll always eat some sort of meat. But I put all my effort into buying my meat from a source that is an animal-friendly environment. Is that the terminology I want? Probably not, but you know what I mean. So, I hope this flows over into them, because it's just terrible how they treat what turns into our food. And just because a cow isn't cuddly doesn't mean that it shouldn't be protected as well. So enough of my rant on that, but I just thought it was important that it was mentioned. So, we were talking earlier about coincidences and synchronicities and being in the right place at the right time. I believe this sort of ties in with that. Michael Brown returned to his Houston home 2 weeks ago to waist-deep water throughout the house and his possessions floating listlessly around him. Just sucks the energy out of me just even reading the story. Although dismayed, he affirmed that his family was safe, and that was the most important thing. Absolutely true. That's the main thing, because I think all of this material stuff can be replaced, he told the Associated Press. Just then, he found his wife's engagement ring floating in a box, a keepsake that was bought long ago. The moment was likely the perfect sign that he was on the right track by keeping his spirits up. Isn't that absolutely awesome? You know, sometimes when you're in scenarios like this, I can only assume, because I've never been in one, that you're thinking to yourself when you leave, like, what do I take? What do I take? I got to grab some stuff so fast and, pack one box. And what do I take? You have a whole, like for me, it would be, 49 years of my life, 3 kids, 3 grandchildren. What can I fit in one car? There's so much that's so important. So imagine when you you finally get to that place where you can just stop and catch your breath, and you're in the shelter or at the relatives or whatever, and then you're like, oh my gosh, and you're realizing all the things you didn't take. Imagine that moment. Imagine how heavy that would be to find out, oh my gosh, we left the jewelry. Oh my gosh, we left your engagement ring. Like, wow. So to go back and to find it, and I'm totally with him. I believe that everything's a lesson, and even though, we were talking earlier about the HARP system and storm seeding and all sorts of other things, I still believe that, everything happens for a reason. There's lessons and everything. And maybe there's something there, and that's one of the lessons, is that we don't need so much stuff. We don't need these big, huge houses that there's rooms you never go into. When I talk about my lottery winning that is coming my way anytime, it'd be nice if that was tomorrow, 6:49. Anyways, so when we talk about that, quite often I mention I do not want a big house. I want an indoor pool. I want a house that fits everybody comfortably, but I don't want one. I will have a cleaning lady, but I don't want to have a cleaning lady because it's so ridiculously big. That does not interest me at all. Trips interest me. Traveling around the world interests me. Having great parties, that interests me because that equals memories, right? So, very, very, very cool. And I do think there's a lot of deeper messages. There's a lot of lessons going on here. So, last story. This is very cool. Something that isn't as easy here in Canada as it is in the States, but, I've seen some documentaries on Netflix about extreme couponing, and oh my gosh, they can save a fortune. And sometimes walk in with no money, walk out with product and money back. That's one heck of a trick. Kimberly Gager is not just a single mother of 3 children. She is also using her shopping addiction to help hurricane evacuees. Gager has donated over $8,000 worth of toiletries and supplies to dozens of relief efforts and families. The 39-year-old says that she used her extreme couponing skills to whittle the prices down on deodorant, toothbrushes, shampoo, razors, baby wipes, diapers, awesome, and detergent to about $4,000. She has reportedly been hoarding most of the supplies in her garage since October. Since October? That must be a typo, since October is next month. But she has never had a real use for all of it. Oh, October of last year. Wow. Isn't that interesting? She would occasionally send boxes of supplies to universities and charities, but now she's making supply deliveries to affected families in Texas and Florida from her home in San Antonio. An Army veteran and government employee, Gager has been raising money for the supplies through her personal PayPal page, where she does not plan on stopping until she runs out of money. She is awesome. As long as the donations keep coming, I'll keep buying, Gager wrote on Facebook. Target and Walgreens have been exceptional and very patient with me. And probably all the people behind her in line when she's doing all this, which is fantastic. I would hope her just turning around saying what it's for would get them to, have some patience or change lines or something. She says that she plans on teaching a class on extreme couponing since she is less occupied with deliveries. Once she's less occupied with deliveries and hurricane relief. Wow, that is so awesome. What a great thing it is to do. See, we've all got skills. Good for her for bringing her couponing skill to the table to help. Very, very cool. So that's it for the good news portion of the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. But before we break off, I have to tell you some 6 evidence-based health benefits of lemons. Lemons are in every bar and restaurant. Every Sunday night when I come in the Playfair Music, I come in Bottoms Up, which is where we do the audio stream here. And every Sunday night, they know I have a big, tall glass of water with lots of lemon because it boosts your metabolism. It's good for my voice. Maybe I should have some right now. Anyways, so it is so good for you. And would you like to know how? Well, here, let me share it with you. The lemon is high in vitamin C, fiber, and various beneficial plant compounds. These nutrients are responsible for the health benefits of lemons. In fact, lemons may support heart health, weight loss, digestive health, and more. So, number 1, it supports heart health. Lemons are high in heart-healthy vitamin C and several beneficial plant compounds that have been shown to lower cholesterol. Number 2, they help control weight. Animal studies show that lemon extract and plant compounds may promote weight loss, but the effects in humans are unknown. See, I told you before, I love it. They're honest, so they know it works in animals, but they're not 100% sure that it works in humans. That is absolutely awesome. We should do that more with our medicine, be honest like that. Be like, well, we tried it out on some mice. We won't just assume it's good in humans, because I know there's a lot of that goes on. Number 3, it prevents kidney stones. Lemon juice may help prevent kidney stones from reforming. However, more quality research is needed. So, if you have a history of kidney stones, it's certainly not going to hurt you to add some lemon in your water while we wait for more research. Number 4, it protects against anemia. It contains vitamin C and citric acid, which help you absorb non-heme iron from plants. This may help prevent anemia. Very interesting. I am going to have to share that with somebody I know who's suffering from anemia right now. There you go. Number 5, reduces cancer risk. Some plant chemicals from lemons have been shown to prevent cancer in animal studies. There you go. Everything. There's so many things in nature that prevent cancer. And there's so many things that are man-made that create cancer. Food for thought, don't you think? And number 6, they improve digestive health. The soluble fiber in lemons could help improve digestive health. However, you need to eat the pulp of the lemon, not just the juice. That's really interesting because my son who is 30 years old, and I swear this kid should be a nutritionist. He blows insulation for a living. It's a horrible job, just being honest, in my opinion. And he's so smart when it comes to food, nutrition, everything. And he just said that to me the other day. It's good that we put it in our water, and it's good that we squeeze it in the water and all that other stuff that we do. But it's so important that we have some of the peel, have some of the pulp, have some of the whole lemon. Now, I'm very lucky. I have a friend that lives here in Sarnia, Ontario, and he's a Facebook friend, but I do actually also know him because his daughter went to school with my daughter. And last summer, he messaged me, or I don't know how we got talking about it, but somehow he told me that he had little lemon trees, right? They're trees. Little lemon trees that he had started from a legit lemon that he bought, I don't know, at the market, or probably not the grocery store because they're usually tainted with something. But he'd come across a lemon anyways. And he took the seeds out of it and he grew all these lemon trees. So he invited me over to have one, to pick it up. So I went over and he gave me like the biggest one he had, which was maybe as long as, like as tall as my finger. I believe it had 2 leaves on it. Wonder if I took a picture of it. I'm not sure now. I may have. So anyways, didn't really do much last year. I may have struggled a little bit to keep it alive. I have to say I'm not the best. I'm not around enough. But I so love this tree. I think it feels the love when I talk to it. So, it went through the summer. I, asked people what I should do inside, outside, yada, yada, yada. So I followed whatever they told me. And then I brought it inside, obviously, for the winter. Now it's been outside all summer. It is absolutely amazing. I would have to say it almost looks like a bush now. It is as high as the bucket that it's in. So it's in like a standard bucket, like maybe you would crawl around on the floor and wash your floor with this bucket. So it's as tall as the bucket, and it's got 50 leaves, probably. I'm so excited. I think next year I might actually get some activity on it. I don't know if it'll be consumable, because I guess it takes years and years, but I am so excited about that lemon tree. It is like my new best friend. Absolutely awesome. So, on that note, that's the end of the good news and the food news and the news, and none of it's fake, I'll tell you that. So, thank you for joining me for that, and we'll go back to some great tunes. There's so much good in the world. It's too bad that, so many people focus on the negative. Much more to life than that, my friends, I'll tell you.